Welcome to Jalen Jacoby. Jalen Rose still on vacation. Big shout to him. But now we have the honor of having Ryan Hollins in his place. Thank you so much for doing the show, Ryan Hollins. It wasn't too long ago when you were in this very studio and you were guaranteeing our audience that LeBron James is going to be a Laker, and now he is a Los Angeles Laker, signed by general manager Rob Pelinka and Magic Johnson. Here is Pelinka on the other offseason moves that the Lakers made.
When LeBron chose to come here, it was the ultimate validation for the moves we've made and what we've been building since we started. We're on a journey towards bringing the 17th banner to the Los Angeles Lakers, and we know we still have work to do to get there. And listen, the road to an NBA championship has to go through the team that won last year. And we all know the guys up north have a special group. But one of the ways to attack what they have is with defensive toughness. Irvin and I had a conversation, and LeBron echoed this sentiment that I think to try to play the Warriors in their own game is a trap. No one's going to beat them at their own game. And so that's why we wanted to add these elements of sort of defense and toughness and depth and try to look at areas where we'll have an advantage.
Okay, Ryan. Number one, I don't think anyone really believes that this current Laker roster could truly test the Warriors. However, do you think this philosophy, this you can't beat the Warriors at their game, so we're going to get defense and toughness, do you think this philosophically is the right approach to trying to topple the championship Warriors?
Yes, it is. But there's levels to this, my man. And first off, that was one of the greatest humble brags of all time, that LeBron topped off everything we've been doing from Pelinka. Love it, love it. But there's some truth and some lies to that. No, you got to be who you are. You got to be true to your identity. And we talked about this on the show prior, in that if you beat Golden State, you got to rough them up. You got to be physical. You got to be tougher than they are. But there's another element that you have to score at a clip that they can score at.
Yep.
You got to be efficient. So if you don't have the same scoring firepower and toughness, you don't match them. You've got to play. If you beat Golden State, you got to be, not just the perfect game, you got to beat them on three tiers: scoring, physicality, and defense, and multiple efforts, because that's what they do. And if you're working 3 times as hard and they're working twice as hard, those percentages will always win out. That was my problem with Houston, even though Houston did take them to 7 and had a heck of a fight, the best match that they had.
One thing that's interesting about the players that Pelinka and company have put around LeBron is, in the past few years, it seems like LeBron has said, just give me 3-point shooters. I will create, I will drive, and I will kick to them because I'm the best passer at my position. Is it interesting or curious to you that they don't really have 3-point shooting around LeBron this year?
Well, what LeBron, yes, it is interesting, because we're not going to hear those moves and justify them and say, yeah, this is what we planned to do the whole time. No.
Yeah.
If you can get a shooter around LeBron, you get a shooter. Kyle Kuzma is the only dead-eye shooter. I know KCP is capable, and he's talking about, well, Rondo can hit guys in windows and their percentages go up. No. That was the problem with the Cavaliers in the finals. They couldn't hit a shot. And defensively, normally you say with LeBron James, and LeBron knows this, if you watch this is where LeBron's frustration came from the finals. You always have to pick your poison with LeBron. Either I stop him or I stop the 3-ball, but I can't give up both. In Golden State in the finals, which is a large reason to why they swept, they were able to stay in the discipline help side, show bodies to LeBron, and close out to those 3-point shooters and run the guys off the line. So LeBron needs dead-eye shooters, and the one shooter that he had was Kyle Korver. Kyle Korver was face guarded. But guess what? You need a Kyle Korver. You need those guys on the team. Now, granted, in today's NBA, this is a real blessing for LeBron. When that when the trade deadline starts to come up, when those things hit, you're going to see guys like Bellinelli. You're going to see those guys, Bellinelli going to Philadelphia. You're going to see all these guys, Ilyasova. You're going to see these shooters come available and be able to join LeBron. So the Lakers have a strategy that they'll be able to get a dead-eye shooter later on in the season, which will be an immense help.
While Pelinka and LeBron and Magic were all basking in the glory of having LeBron come to Los Angeles, the Clippers' Jerry West had some salt to throw on all of this. Here's what he had to say about the acquisition. Quote, All due respect to the Lakers, who handled everything well, but as these things go, LeBron was not a tough free agent signing. LeBron wanted to come to L.A., and he wanted to come to the Lakers, period. He has a family he's thinking about. He has a home here. Why is Jerry West so salty about all this?
One, Jerry West is not salty at all. And everybody jumped on me. They massacred me on First Take. And I said that Magic Johnson was a puppet. With no due respect to the man over my left shoulder, one of the greatest players of all time. Magic is a great businessman, hands down. He's a great player, one of the favorites, all-time greats. But as far as a GM, this is not he's the best GM ever. Yes, he's going to get credited, but LeBron was coming here anyways. This is what I said. And I said that could have been Kobe Bryant in this GM position. He's still coming. It could have been Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Yes, it's great that he can have those man-to-man talks with LeBron James, but ultimately, no, he was coming here anyways. LeBron chose L.A. You had to mess this up, and guess what, Magic? You messed up Paul George. You tampered for $500,000, but Magic, in our eyes, you can do no wrong. So please forgive me for calling it how I see it with one of my favorite players of all time. And guess what, Magic, you're a bad coach. You're a bad commentator, okay? But we just love you because you're Magic. This is true.
I would not take Magic Johnson's slander on this program. I cannot believe you are doing this, Ryan Hollins. At first I was with you, and then you just got off the rails at the end. But there's something else that came out in the news.
5-11.
There's something else that came out in the news about LeBron and his move to Los Angeles I found very curious. One thing we know about LeBron, he's very calculated, especially in his dealings with the media. He manipulates us speaking in the microphone so well. But there's now news from Variety that Spring Hill, his production company, is putting together a pitch for a feature film that is a comedy that would be starring LeBron James. I'm alarmed by this given the timing. I mean, can you imagine that just a week or two after he announces he's going to L.A., that they now leak reports that he is pitching a movie that he is starring in? Am I reading way too much into this by finding it alarming and concerning?
Yeah, you're reading into this and you're lying to your audience, and I've never assumed that you would lie because you knew. Well, at least I knew, and I'm so thankful because I've been tweeting at you for a while, Jacoby, and you finally acknowledged it on your show like a grown man should.
You're muted. You're muted. You're muted.
That LeBron James was coming to L.A. No, this is big respect to you, but you knew this was coming. This isn't a leak. This isn't an accident. It's just a sexy name like the Jay-Z album getting leaked. Guess what? Those albums don't get leaked.
But why is he pitching a movie starring himself right now? Like, why not wait for this information to come out later? It just seems like the second you move to L.A., all of a sudden you're going to be a movie star? Like, come on, LeBron. You're better than this.
But he's not pitching this right now. This was pitched years ago. This was pitched a long time ago. He just wants to respect the city of Cleveland and make it seem like Los Angeles was a tough deal. Like, I don't know where L.A. Oh, yeah, I'm going.
One person in all of this, we're going to talk about LeBron, we're going to talk about Magic, because those are the big names. But one name that doesn't get brought up too much in any of this is Luke Walton, the actual head coach of the team that LeBron James is playing on. When LeBron announced that he was going to the Lakers, Luke Walton got a congratulatory phone call from his dad, Bill Walton, the GOAT. And the GOAT, Bill Walton, was at a Grateful Dead concert when he made the phone call to his son about LeBron James. My question for you, are you more surprised that Bill Walton stopped enjoying a Grateful Dead concert to make a phone call to his son, or that our producer Harlan Endelman last weekend went to a Grateful Dead concert during his bachelor party?
I am more surprised with Harlan because, as I told you before, I expected this from Bill. I told you my wild story about Bill years ago. I played in college over 10 years ago, and him saying, hey, the key to a national championship, run. Okay, so that Bill is doing this, it doesn't surprise me. I just saw Bill at the NBA Awards, and I walk up to him again, and I see him again after the show, and I said, Bill, thank you so much for what you've done. It's great to see you. And he looked at me and said, hey, kid, what's your name? I go, Bill, I'm Ryan Hollins. I wanted to be the next Bill Walton. I want to follow your steps from UCLA to NBA.
How many 7-footers that went to UCLA do you know, Bill?
Then he said, man, keep working hard, son. You might be a good player one day. Great bill.
He was talking about the big three. He was talking about the big three.
Oh, my
When we come back, I'll be done talking to my producer about the Grateful Dead concert and officially blocking Ryan Hollins on Twitter. Drumline, Stomp the Yard, or You Got Served. Pick one.
I'll say Drumline.
What happened in that movie? Can you just summarize the plot line for us?
Playing drums feverishly.
You know what they're going to do? Put that on the poster. When they re-release Drumline, remastered DVD, there's going to be a big quote on the poster. Playing drums feverishly. Jalen Rose.